A lot of project managers think that they lack confidence, but if we're being honest, that's not always the problem. Sometimes the real issue is this. You're being expected to leave rooms where you don't have all the information, make decisions under pressure, speak with confidence in front of leadership, and somehow, some way, you still hold everything together while people move around you instead of with you. And what happened is you start questioning yourself, not because you're weak, not because you are incapable, but because you have not built enough reps in the exact situation that actually shape leadership. So in today's episode, I want to make sure you don't have to ask those confident questions anymore. You need to get more reps in high stakes situations because family, confidence is not built in comfort. It's only built in pressure. Let me tell you this quick story. See, there I was joining a program meeting to walk through the current project status. And before I got started, I'd had this feeling in my gut, that feeling like, I didn't have all the information, that feeling like, this had probably happened to me before, but where something just kind of just didn't feel right. It felt off. So, but instead of stopping and questioning it, I, brushed it off and kept moving. So I walked through the project in the entirety. I gave the update. I covered what I knew. And from my point of view, everything that was needed to be said had been said. But then the program manager asked this intelligent question. Does anyone else from the team have anything to add? And in my mind, I'm thinking, I know nobody on our team does it. They shouldn't, should they? Because if there was something else that needed to be added, unless it was literally happened right before the meeting we had, then I should have already known about it. Well, of course, someone had something to add. The technical lead started giving a breakdown how the team plans to approach an issue that had been raised a week ago. A week ago? Wait a minute. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is no way happened to me again. I mean, I can't believe this is happening because we already talked about this. We already aligned on the importance of keeping each other informed so that when we showed up in front of leadership or stakeholders, we didn't look disconnected, misaligned, or out of sync. But in that moment, it became very clear to me that this was bigger than just a communication miss. Because if you truly respect the craft of project management, if you truly understand what it means to lead a project extremely well, then you make sure your project manager is aligned on anything new that impacts the work. You do that because you understand that leadership requires alignment. You do that because you understand that communication is not optional. Let me say this one more time. You do it because you understand that if a project manager is out of the loop, the project is already in danger. Therefore, when people repeatedly move with information that you should have had, this is not just poor communication. This is what I'm calling information asymmetry. And whether intentional or not, what is communicated is very, very dangerous. This is not about a collaboration. Matter of fact, this is not even talking about keeping the project alive. This is about proving we can move on without you. And sometimes, if we're being honest, it can also feel like you are a threat to how we want to operate. This is why so many project managers think they have a confidence problem, when in reality, they are being placed in high-stakes situations, expected to lead, expected to communicate, expected to bring clarity without being given the full picture. And family, that will test your leadership every single time. Principle number one, information asymmetry will test your leadership. See, one of the hardest things about project management is realizing not everybody is working with the same information. I'm trying not to laugh because it's so true. Because sometimes decisions are made without you. Key updates are held back or even mentioned at the worst possible time. And you're still expected to lead with confidence and clarity. That is what information asymmetry does. It holds you accountable without fully informing you. Why is this important? If you do not recognize what is happening, you may start blaming yourself for a problem being created by the environment. Now you're questioning your confidence when the real issue is a lack of transparency and alignment around you. Experiment with these actionable tips. Ask direct follow-up questions when something feels incomplete or vague. Next one, recap assumptions, decisions, and open items in writing so misalignment has fewer place to duck and, of course, hide. Here's my professional advice. Do not confuse poor communication around you with poor leadership within you. Oh, I like that, family. And once you realize confidence is often tested by the environment, you start to understand something else. A lot of people are not lacking confidence. They are lacking reps in pressure. Principle number 2, confidence is built in high stakes situations. Confidence doesn't normally, or I should say usually, show up before the hard moments. It gets built during those uncomfortable meetings, those executive updates, those tough conversations, those unclear decisions. Matter of fact, those moments where all eyes are on you. That is where confidence is informed, not comfort, not in theory, not in over preparing. It is in those pressure type moments. Why is this important? If you keep waiting to feel ready before stepping into those moments, you will delay the exact growth you are actually looking for in this thing that I love, that I hope you fall in love with, called project management, because you cannot think your way into a confidence forever. At some point, you're going to have to go through something. Experiment with these actionable tips. Intentionally speak early in meetings instead of waiting until the end. Next one, say yes to one slightly uncomfortable leadership moment each week. Here's my professional advice, family. Stop treating pressure like proof that you are not ready. Sometimes pressure is the proof that growth has already arrived. And what are the biggest places those reps show up? It's in meetings people secretly dread the most. Principle number 3, tough meetings are leadership reps. A lot of people look at those tough meetings like they're on the Survivor show because they're just trying to survive. Some of your strongest leadership reps come from facilitating tension, navigating disagreements, slowing down emotional conversation, and pulling people back into the real issue and creating clarity when the room gets messy. This is just not running a meeting. This is leadership under pressure. Why is this important? People do not remember what you said in a hard meeting, but they do remember how you showed up. They do remember how you stayed composed, how you brought direction and looked steady when the room was not. Experiment with these actionable tips. Open difficult meetings by stating the exact purpose and desired outcome early. Next one. When conversations get too broad, let's bring them back to the room. And now we need to get specific. Here's my professional advice. Do not rush to escape tension in meeting. Sometimes your job is not to remove the discomfort. Sometimes your job is to lead the room actually through it. And once you start getting better in those tough meetings, the next thing that you get tested is whether you can challenge people clearly. Principle number 4, pushing back respectfully is a career skill. See, a lot of project managers avoid pushing back because they think it would make them look difficult or hard to work with. But if you never push back, you will constantly inherit unavoidable problems. People will keep overcommitting, underestimating effort, and shifting expectation, assuming, hey, well, we can make it work. Pushing back respectfully is part of protecting the project. Why is that important? If you do not challenge the unrealistic ask early, you will end up managing the fallout later. And by then, it's usually too late to pretend it was never a problem. So experiment with these actionable tips. Use trade-off language instead of emotional language when challenging a direction. Next one, practice saying, if we move in that direction, here is the impact. Here's my professional advice, family. Pushback is not disrespect. Pushback is what happens when somebody cares enough to actually protect the work. And the higher up in the rooms you get, the more exposed your habits become. Principle number 5, executive pressure exposes your habits. Ooh, I like this one, family. See, when speaking in front of executives or senior leadership, your habits show up quickly. That includes rambling, over-explaining, or my favorite is shrinking your voice or sounding uncertain, giving too much detail before getting to the actual point. See, pressure reveals what has not been practiced. That is why executive situations feel so intense. Why is that important? If you're not careful, you'll start thinking the room is the problem. When really the room is just revealing the habits you need to sharpen. Experiment with these actionable tips. Start updates with the business impact or decision first, then give supporting details. Next one, practice giving key updates in 30 seconds before adding any additional context. Here's my professional advice, Phil. Executives do not need your entire thought process first. They came for one thing, and one thing only. They need clarity, and then they can move on. If you want to get better in high pressure rooms, You have to learn one of the most valuable skills in leadership. Principle number 6, clarity under pressure is a competitive advantage. A lot of people think confidence sounds like someone's making up stuff, but real authority, real authority often sounds like saying less, being clear, and speaking with direction. See, in high stakes situation, the person who can create clarity without panicking has a major advantage because clarity settles the room. Why is this important? Confusion? It makes people feel nervous. And when people are nervous, they start looking for someone who sounds like they know the thing that needs to get accomplished. This is where your communication can either build trust or lose it right away. Experiment with these actual tips. Before speaking, ask yourself, what is one thing this room actually needs to know? Next one, replace long explanations with tighter statements focused on risk, decisions, or impact. Here's my professional advice. Do not, and I repeat, do not confuse more words with more leadership. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is be direct with the individual or group. Even when you know all of this, family, a lot of people still hold themselves back for one simple reason. Principle number 7, avoidance delays authority. Oh, this is getting good. See, every time you avoid speaking up, asking the harder question, leading the uncomfortable moment, or challenging a weak assumption, you reinforce hesitation. And over time, hesitation becomes part of how people experience you. This is why avoidance is expensive. It feels safe in the moment, but it quietly delays the leader you are trying to become. Why is this important? Authority is not usually lost in one big moment. It gets weakened in the small moments when you have the opportunity to step up, and you did. Here's some actionable tips I love for your experiment. Pick one thing each week you would normally avoid and commit to doing it anyway. Next one, track the moments you hesitated so you can see your growth patterns more clearly. Here's my professional advice. The most uncomfortable moment you keep avoiding may be the exact rep your leadership needs. And that leads to the very last point. Because see, this is where a lot of people get it wrong. Principle number 8, you build confidence after the rep, not before it. A lot of people keep waiting to feel confident before they speak up or they present or they lead or challenge or actually go first. But confidence usually does not arrive before the rep. It shows up after the meeting, the pushback, the presentation, the recovery, and the uncomfortable moment you made it through. This is how confidence is built. Why is this important? If you keep waiting to feel fully ready, you may get stuck longer than you should. Most growth does not feel clean at first. It feels awkward. It feels uncertain. It feels uncomfortable. But that does not mean you are doing it wrong. That usually means you are finally doing the work. Experiment with these actual tips. Start measuring growth by how often you show up, not how perfect you felt. Next one. After every hard situation, I want you to ask yourself, what did I handle better this time? Here's my professional advice, family. Stop waiting for confidence to give you permission. Get the rep and let confidence catch up to the behavior you're creating. Well, that right there, family, this is the shift. You were never as far behind as you thought. You just needed more reps. Here's the truth. A lot of project managers do not need more motivation. They do not need another reminder that they are capable. What they really need is more reps in the moment they keep avoiding. Confidence is not built when everything is smooth. It's built when the room gets tense, the information is incomplete, the expectations are high, and you still choose to lead anyway. That is where leadership gets formed. That is where self-trust gets built. You just need to get more reps. If this resonated with you, family, don't rush past it. Choose one principle and practice it intentionally this week. If you know a project manager who question themselves right now, send this their way. For those that want to get ready or want to build more confidence, judgment, leadership, and depth over time, you'll find my mentorship and coaching link in the description. I go by the name of ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks out there, hey, that just simply means it. Until next time.